I said it's 3:46 a.m. and I'm up watching videos on how to leave the US. I'm starting to seriously consider this change because I'm 36, single, no children, and I want different. I'm not interested in this invisible race and low quality of life that we have in America. This isn't the dream, and I feel like if I don't give myself this experience to explore, I will deeply regret that. And here we are with this video. It is a part of the Redesign Your Life series. And those when those 3 a.m. thoughts hit, they hit. And we never know what's gonna come about. But it was literally a moment I posted, and once again, shocked by the amount of people that this resonated with, that had taken this action, that just up and moved their family. I mean, the stories on Threads blew me away because I had a moment the other day when I realized I accepted a job that no longer aligned with who I am now, but it was something back in the day who I used to be. It worked for me then, right? And my nervous system, excuse me, just truly outgrew being in that role, in that position. And I couldn't just shake this feeling. And I've had this constant feeling lately of I am grateful. I am alive, right? When you've stared mortality in the face, there's just something about like climbing this successful ladder that sometimes no longer appeases you. It doesn't appease me right now. I want a ladder of truth. I want a life of truth. I want a life of exploration. I am off still. It's like when things are good, but certain things just still feel off. That's how I've been feeling lately. And I've been trying to just give myself time to sit in that feeling, but like really writing out and expressing and voice memoing. Voice memoing is the best for me when these random thoughts come up because I can like just get it out there and not carry it on my chest. I don't want this current life anymore. And I desire something to change. Overall, I'm in grad school. Things are going well, right? I am kind of freshly going through a breakup, but I just feel like I've had this pull of honesty. Like I haven't allowed myself to really live in certain honest spaces with myself as I've been doing the work these past couple years to just heal and process. And I realized cancer really opened up a lot for me. And it opened up a lot of safety mechanisms that I had before I even went through cancer. And I'm in this space where I can't ignore it. I can't shake it anymore. I don't want to play safe. I don't want to play small. I've done it my whole life. I'm exhausted. I don't want to be the strong one. I don't want to be the most resilient one, because sometimes resiliency can still ride the wave of survival mode. And I'm done. I'm done. I'm not living for other people. I'm living for myself. Um, I don't want to keep living in a false reality. I have more understanding now today of like what I want, what values I have, what matters to me the most. And I'm like, girl, you are 36, you are single, you do not have living children, right? I shared with y'all my son passed away 8 years ago, 36 weeks of my pregnancy. It'll be 9 years next year. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Yeah, it's a bit of a scary thought because I don't know people out the country. I ventured out the country for 1 month during my study abroad program in college, and that was well over 10 years ago. So it's a little bit of a scary thought, but I think it's scarier if I didn't do it. It's scarier to me if I didn't allow myself to explore. So a lot, I guess you could really say this video is also about like redesigning your thoughts, redesigning your reality, redesigning your direction, redesigning your dreams, redesigning your desires, and chasing them. actually chasing them, not out of fear, not out of perfectionism, not out of, appeasing and people pleasing other people, but simply out of the fact that that's what you want to do. I wrote this morning the things that I don't want. And I feel like when you know what you don't want, you can clarify what you do want. And I don't know if this is you, but you don't want urgency as a lifestyle. You don't want productivity as your worth. You don't want safety that costs you peace. You don't want systems that drain you more than they give to you. You don't want weather, pace, and culture that feels heavy to your body. Heavy on that because I'm from the Midwest. I'm in Michigan. I had moved down south originally to escape the snow, and out of obedience, God called me back home a year and a half ago, and I can now see why. But I'm realizing, give yourself time and be honest about what you really want, because you get one life to live it out. And I see so many people that are so unhappy around me. I'm back home in like my small town. I'm from like a small country town, to be honest. And I mean, I look at people every day and they look miserable. They look drained. They look exhausted. You would be surprised by the random stories people say and share to me at Kroger, at the gas station. It's like, I don't know, future therapist on my head, or like she listens. I don't know what's showing, but like I'll listen, and it's sad and it's depressing. I see people in my family working like overload, exhausted, just knocked out, falling asleep anywhere they can. And I'm just like, man, there's so much more to life than this. And I also, I don't know, I was thinking the other day, and I'm just like, I was sitting outside of my car, I just left the gym, and I was like, there's more to this. There's more to life than this. Like, this can't be it. Even with this job that I took and this new schedule, it's in healthcare, and it's, a schedule where it's like 10 to 7. It doesn't leave me with much room time at the end of the day, because it's a job that requires a lot of like your cognitive thinking, a lot of like mental capacity. And if you've ever worked a job like that, it may not be physical labor, but mental labor can be just as exhausting if you are consuming um, so many people's needs and having to skim through all these, like, records and information and detail and things like that. And that, for me, for my brain, it's overwhelming. I like the people part. If I could just talk to the people and not have to worry about all the other stuff on the back end, that would be perfect for me. And it's not like that. So by the time the day ends, I go, I work out, I sit in the sauna. It's like 9:30, I'm coming home and I'm exhausted. And I was like, this is not the life that I want. I'm looking outside, it's gloomy. I haven't seen the sun, and I don't know, we haven't had sun in weeks. It's cold, it's snowy. If you love that, that is beautiful for you. And if you don't love that, congratulations for your self awareness, and get to what you do love. I know where I'm from, so often people will sacrifice that happiness to stay around family and be close. And I mean, after living away for 6 years, I will say it has been nice to be around and closer to my family, but I can feel that I am ready to fly again. Like, I came home, my mom nurtured me, back to life. God dealt with me. Um, and now, I've been able to help and support them in different ways. And it's like, okay, I want to make sure I leave you better than I came. But I think it's about time for me to go again. You know, I think it's about time for me to go. So I know what I don't want. Now it's like, give yourself permission to play, give yourself permission to explore. I think more than anything, I want permission to explore. And guess who has to give me that permission? Me. Now we getting deep down spiritual, the Lord too, right? But me, I gotta give myself permission to do that. And being in a serious relationship at the time too, I was like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm called to be. And when things change, it opens up a different reality where it's like, okay, what do you want, Renee? And what do you need? You've moved for people before. You moved for the relationships before. You moved off the hope and the potential before. What do you want? What do you need? Move for you. Move for your exploration. Move for your desire. Like make yourself the prize. Make yourself the primary concern. So those are my 3:30 a.m. thoughts. I wrote down that even with today's reality of my life, I can acknowledge that something still feels off. I am healed. I've done the work in so many areas. I am past survival mode. I'd say 90% past survival mode. There's a little bit of residue there. But I say all that to say I'm in a space where it's like, okay, I can make sound decisions. I'm well to make sound decisions. I am in remission. I can make sound decisions. I'm not glued to being here and going to all these doctor appointments and things like that. Like I can make sound decisions now because I can move around a bit. And I want regulation. I want pace. I want beauty in my days. I want slow mornings where I could ease into the day. I want intentional living. I want food, good food. I love food. I want movement. I want play. I want exploration. Did I say that already? That's deep, but that may be one of my top values. I want money that feels humane. I want, to not climb the corporate ladder, but I want to make money well in the space of who I am and well in the space of the women that I'm able to help. I want to host intimate retreats and gatherings and get togethers. I want to help women rediscover themselves and redesign their life and come out of the survival mode and step into the real identity of who they are. I want days that actually feel like days, not obligations stacked together. I don't want to, work 8 or 9 hours to come home and be exhausted and then repeat it every day for pay that feels restrictive and don't have a background in a journey, honey, because your pay kind of goes up and down depending on the role that you're working. I don't want work that pulls from me and leaves me depleted. If we're looking at units of measurement, I'm starting with 100 units in a day. Like the job is taking half, and then going to work out that takes probably a quarter. Going to the sauna, and then I can't forget taking care of Cardi, taking care of my dog, like, and then trying to take care of myself, do my journaling, do my reading, my studies, school. It's gone. I just don't feel like this is what we were supposed to be experiencing. This wasn't today's dream is not the dream that my parents lived in. Obvious, obviously, I was about to say forever ago, but back in the day, it's drastically different. And I can't ignore the fact that it it caused me to challenge my current reality and challenge my current thinking and challenge my thoughts. And I hope it caused you to do the same thing too. So I'm starting to just like look at options because I've been playing it safe and I don't have the desire to play it safe anymore. I think if I can encourage you and challenge you really and leave you with anything, especially going into 2026, where are you playing small? Where have you in your life? It could be a specific category. It could be business, entrepreneurship, work, money, relationship, health, quality of life. Where are you playing small? And where have you allowed yourself to become so robotic? You've allowed yourself to become so ingrained with the identity of this world, this way that it's functioning, that you too aren't actually living your life. that you aren't living in a current reality? Or where do you feel off? Maybe certain things are going good and they are going well, and certain things are off at the same time. Both can exist at the same time. Where do you feel off? And what do you want to change? And even though fear may be a part of the change, like keeping you from that, being a little scared, what are you going to do to work through the fear? What is it worth? What would it cost you to not experience the person on the other side? What would it cost you to not experience like making the decision to step out and like take the leap? You know, like I said earlier, I faced mortality head on twice now. like, and this time around, I'm like, yeah, nah. I gotta make some changes. I'm getting back to myself, but even she is new, if that makes sense. She is a new woman. She has new desires and dreams that are just deeper. Loves to, she wants expansion. She wants richness in here, right? It's not for me about working to climb the ladder, to get the big house, to get the fancy cars. Like I actually had that experience. That was my upbringing, and when I saw my dad lose all of it, when I saw him lose our house, lose the business, lose the cars, the way that it happened, and then the way that the system did not support anything in his favor, disregarded paperwork as if he never owned that business, that blew my mind. And I've never shared that publicly like this ever. But that blew my mind. And that wasn't right. And he still has not recovered and come back from that. And that's been about 15 years ago. So when I saw that system take everything from my dad, when I saw that the person that he purchased the business from worked for and befriended our family for over 25 years, when I saw the way that that happened, I'm like, mm-mm, mm-mm. You know, I think it changed my attachment to material things because they were here today and gone tomorrow. And that was in my 20s, my early 20s. So my attachment is with experiences, right? And it's just with life. It's with exploring. It's just with it's so much more. The depth is so much deeper for me there. And I'm just like, yeah, I want to give myself the permission to play and to explore. And I deserve that. I do deserve that. And you deserve that too. If that is what you want, you deserve that. And even if it's not abroad, even if it's changing and redesigning your thoughts to make 2026 the most aligned year, the most healed year. I'm not going abroad tomorrow, but I'm like, okay, this is probably on my list that I want to start planning and working towards. And I want to start small. I want to at least put myself in a position to be somewhere for like 3 months and then maybe 6 months. And I don't know what happens after that, but I want to start small. But for the upcoming reality, it's transitioning out of my parents' home because it is time for your girl to fly off again and getting a space that is my own space that I can just give back to myself in terms of nurturing myself and romanticizing myself and dating myself and loving myself and buying myself flowers and going to my favorite farmers markets and painting in the living room and playing with Cardi and making memories with her and walking around the neighborhood. Just those are the things that we're going to start with first, and allowing myself to read. I low key would love, I was going to like create my own book club. I had posted about that. If you want to be a part of that, let me know in the comments because I kind of do want to host one. And then in the same token, I was like, oh, what if I just find a book club that nobody knows me and I can join to be a part of it and just like build more relationships because your girl loves relationships. I love people. Yeah, Maybe I'll go on like Eventbrite or something or a Facebook group and find that. I do. I want to be a part of a book club next year. I want to read more. I want to lean into my hobbies. I want to lean into playing. I would love to launch a community group, a private membership group where we just feel the intimate space where we can connect freely. We can talk freely. We can gather in person. We can drop our wildest dreams. We can do, mini soulful challenges together. It's just really about reconnecting and coming back home to yourself and your feminine self, right? And redesigning your aesthetic and your looks and your hair and how you dress and redesigning your aura and just like the things that make you you. I want to highlight those and pull those to the forefront through the survival, through the mud, through the trauma, through the heartbreaks, through the changes, through the loss, through shedding new skin, through the friendship changes and adjustments, through the people that have walked out on your life, like through all of that, right? Because your girl has been through that for the past 8 years. So I think that's what's going to also make me a good therapist because we going to keep it real. We going to keep it honest. So those are some of my desires. That's how I'm rethinking things and shifting things for the new year to come. And if you're on that journey, I want you to join me. I would love to have you. If you would like to be a part of a book club, let me know in the comments. I think this is something we have time. We could start January, and I would love to read a book a month. I really would. And yeah, let me know how this video resonated with you. I did a lot of talking. Let me know what stood out. Let me know what your goals are for 2026, where you're headed, what you're working towards. How did this feel? I'm a woman. I'll be 37 in 2 seconds, and I'm like, I want 37 to be the I want that to be the most healed version of myself. I want that to be the best version of myself. I want that to be the year that I lived the truest to myself. I deserve that. And you do too. So, all right, y'all. Until the next video, peace out.